give anything to be in overnight.
Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the Harbor. We have a special video planned for today. We're going to do a recap of what we got to see on the East Coast this past Wednesday. Silent Planet headlining their tour SUPERBLOOM, based on the album that came out on November, alongside the Aussies Thornhill, the Swedish Aviana, Johnny Booth, and some special guests that Silent Planet brought on the tour that I'm sure you all are going to like. Quick disclaimer, I am not a professional videographer. This was shot on my iPhone. I just thought it'd be nice to show you all a glimpse of what we got to see on Wednesday. Before we get to the opening act, we've got to go back to that intro clip and hear some of Garrett's harsh vocals on Antimatter. Total badass. We have more Silent Planet on the way towards the end of the video. Follow the chapters if you want to skip along to parts that you want to hear. I will not be offended. Go for it. First up, we have the opening act, a band called Nightlife that Silent Planet decided to bring on this show specifically. They were pretty dope, man. They were not metal at all, but it was a warm-up. People were dancing, grooving, and it was a nice surprise. Let's check out Nightlife. Like I said, Nightlife was a great warm-up for us. Not everyone was at the show yet. They immediately started playing as doors opened, and I grooved to it, man. I liked it a lot. Next up, we have Aviana. I was a little confused on why Aviana was playing before Johnny Booth in the hierarchy, but in any case, they killed it. Here we have a few of my favorite tracks that they played at this show. Check it out. Man, the Swedish absolutely go hard every time I see these guys. Speaking of guys, I believe this is still a one-man band. Joel hires people to come on tour with him and play the songs, but he's done everything for this band, which is fucking mind-blowing. Well, next up we got Johnny Booth. They are a crazy hardcore band. I think I got one song from them. Let's go check it out. For my first time seeing Johnny Booth, I was ecstatic. Honestly, they know how to turn up. Their stage presence is on key. They're just going crazy. Dope vocals, fun, energetic band overall. Next up, we got the Aussies Thornhill. And going into this, I was kind of anticipating Thornhill specifically because last time I saw them, they were on their headlining tour for Heroin, their album that came out in 2022. So they played pretty much everything that was on that album. Personally, my favorite sound that Thornhill had developed back in the day was on that album, Dark Pool. So you can imagine I was so stoked to hear that they were going to be playing some songs off of that album. Check it out. Not only did they play songs off of my favorite album from them, they played my favorite song. And you can tell Jacob is straining just a little bit trying to get those screams out. I imagine because he hasn't played these songs in such a long time based on the last 2 albums. But in any case, it didn't matter to me. I finally got to see Darkpool in the flesh. Of course, guys, we're going to save the boys for last. Garrett and the crew come out on stage. They have a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's completely okay. They go on with the show. I got Antimatter that I showed you all earlier in the intro, and now it's time to show you what special guest Garrett and the boys brought to this show specifically. Check it out.
Everybody, from the band Monuments of Recovery. Give it up for Silent Planet! The static in my head, it's always red. The static in my head, it's always red. The static in my head. Do it.
Out of nowhere, we got to see Andy Sizik join the stage with Garrett from the band Monuments, Makari, and of course Termina, the project with Nick Nocturnal. One of my friends said they may have saw Andy at the bar earlier in the show, but I was completely in the dark and I was so surprised to see him on stage. I am a big fan of Andy, especially in his band Monuments. I think he's the perfect fit, especially after the departure of their older vocalist. And I think the chemistry was just so fun to see between him and Garrett on stage. And Garrett actually made a post that he said this was one of his most memorable shows, which was totally heartwarming, meant a lot. We turned up at the show and so did y'all. Alright guys, we're going to close out. I hope the videos were good enough for you guys to get a picture of how the show went on Wednesday. And honestly, if you guys like this type of video, this form of content, I would love to do it in the future. I go to a lot of shows with friends, and we could totally highlight how the show went, break it down band by band, and get it on the channel. Of course, let me know what you guys thought about the Baltimore show for the SUPERBLOOM tour. Silent Planet and the boys, I think they did phenomenal. Let me know down in the comments. Also, stay tuned. This week, the community decided that we are going to check out the new single from Darko called Bunny Suit. And that's going to be very, very soon. Peace!